If you were shanking the golf ball, it's one of the most frustrating shots in golf. Hits right on the inside, goes at a right angles, and you're playing catch up for the rest of the hole. So in this video, it is all about helping you in the easiest way possible to never shank that golf ball again. With special guests Ollie Tucker and myself, we're going to show you the one exercise that you need to do next time you're down at the range to never shank the golf ball again. Let's get stuck in. Okay, mate, we're going to look at strike location. We can see that one there. This is center of the face, a little bit high and off the toe. Now, down on the ground, we had a tee set up. What would this tee be used for?
Just a visual thing, really, to try and encourage the player to keep the club nearer them for whatever reason and have the club strike the ball like done there, a little bit nearer the toe, if they had been shanking it for, again, a number of reasons. So you can hit the heel of the club. But that little visual reference, which I really like, giving players these sort of task or skill-based things to do, because if they come up with a movement that maybe corrects it in a efficient way, you can use that feel that they've created themselves without me imposing a movement on them, assuming they're technically somewhere there or thereabouts.
Yeah, skill development. You'll find that technique will tend to follow the function of completing a drill such as this. So for example, let's say I'm out there and I'm shanking.
Yep.
We're seeing a whole bunch of marks off the heel of the golf club there. You could think of a plethora of moves throughout the backswing of trying to drive the elbow in, move the club head further behind, but there are also so many ways that you can still shank it from there.
Correct.
Your arms could be too far behind your body, then they've got to play catch up. So even though by this stage of the swing, the golf club feels a mile behind us, from there, in that split second coming down, all that can unravel. So having that tee down there at the end of the day, if I am swinging the golf club and I'm missing that tee, well then we're going to tend to move that strike away from the heel and more towards the center, if not the toe.
Yeah. And this is something where you have to improve your technique. Most golfers will, and everyone does work on that. Here with TrackMan, you've got the cameras. People can spend a bit too much time looking for positions and checking numbers, but and you would have seen it yourself. Good-looking swings from maybe someone that hasn't been playing so long or hasn't developed the skill from maybe other sports as well, that cannot find the middle of the club. And you're there thinking, that's great, I'd love to swing it like that.
Yeah.
And then just not the awareness of the club head or the face angle or whatever it might be. And players miss out where you develop technique, that will improve your golf, we hope. But it won't improve your skill. Improving your skill, working on your skill, can also have a knock-on effect to the technique. So like you did there, if you find a way to manufacture a swing to hit the toe, you're going to have to change X, Y, Z in your swing, where your focus is very much on the strike rather than a positional thing.
Yeah, and I would even tend to say it's what's more important, having perfect technique from the start of the takeaway to the top of the swing down to when the club shaft is parallel with the ground, or having the perfect technique of striking the center in the face as the club makes its way through impact. And which one's going to make it easy to get the ball started on line with consistent speed that you can manage? Well, it's definitely going to be when we strike the center of the face a little bit more.
Definitely.
Yeah. So what are some common swing flaws that would encourage a heel strike that if we were to recreate right now, and then I was to do this drill just as evidence of how valuable this drill is, would then hit the tee? So for example, we'll get back to that video in just a second, but I just want to tell you quickly about my online training platform, Perform Golf. Being a player myself and going through the struggles of working on my game all the way up to playing on tour, I understand that nagging feeling that you're putting work in that's not actually making a difference to your swing and your golf game. So that's why I've created an all-encompassing membership covering every aspect of the game to help you fast track your progress and get you shooting lower scores. It's available on all the app stores and on the web. The link is down below. So sign up now, experience the difference yourself. Let's get back to the video. I'll start off. I'm going to be a player that I don't turn enough. So my arms are going to lift a lot, right? So I'm going to set up, we can see the golf tee is placed just outside the toe of the golf club. Let's say I don't turn enough. My arms move independently, then they are going to lift. Now from here, if I swing down, I have every ability right there just to clobber that tee. Right? It's going to be very hard for me from that position to come from the inside.
Correct.
Now, what do we see players generally do here, Ollie, that try and hit the inside of the ball? They don't worry about their turn, they try and do what?
Well, they've got to get the club somehow behind them. So we see often quite a lot of extension with the hips that way, which does get the club behind you, but now you've got face issue and you've got low point problems as well.
Yeah. So now this club just feels like it's going straight Jose Maria at the ball, face very open, and we're still going to hit the tee.
Definitely a chance here.
So that would be for the player who was trying to manufacture a matchup throughout their swing. However, if I'm a player who simply just swings it too high with their hands because they're not turning, and after shot after shot after shot, I'm trying to avoid that tee, you'll find intuitively what is that player going to begin to do in the backswing to give themselves more room?
They normally give themselves more room by getting that hip out of the way, getting the shoulders round, and that's looking a lot better already.
Yeah, so now I have all the room without trying to manage something the 0.25 of a second on the way down that is going to give me the space to collect the center of the face. What's one more swing flaw that would encourage a heel strike?
So we go the other way, and rather than not turn enough, we'll say spinning a bit too early and too much from the top of the swing.
Okay.
So even if you make a half decent backswing, where you might get to, we see a lot of players that maybe don't come laterally enough, and they'll go this way too early from the top. And like you are there, sort of on the back foot a little bit, and any rotation from the top of the swing throws the club out this way, and like you can see there, now that tee and the heel is very much in play.
Yeah, big time, big time. So then this tee being here, intuitively for a lot of players, what we will see them do is almost be more patient in their downswing, isn't it? And with that patience, it's going to become a little bit more of a linear shift towards the target, which does what to our arms, Ollie?
So like you're doing there very well, it's just pulling the arms down or giving your arms time to fall in that space that you've created, rather than losing that space. And as soon as you go this way with the turn, arms come out, which when I keep like you've done there, you're back to target for a fraction longer to allow your arms to fall into that space that you've done in your backswing. Yeah,
very good. And even though this is only just two of the many ways that you could come in to impact and have the heel of the golf club hitting the ball, essentially both of these will get taken care of if you simply just do this tee drill more.
You certainly got, and even if your technique is closer than the demos we've done there, I think strike location, awareness of where the head is and the face is so important for just improving the overall distance and, like you said, consistency of ball speed and flight.
Yeah, okay. Well, let's test me out one more. Give myself a bit of a buffer so I don't make myself look like a fool. Set up to the ball. My objective here is to focus on, if anything, exaggeration, then I might even hit the toe of the golf club here. And that was me, for someone who plays golf all day, every day, trying to hit it off the shiny part so I could avoid the tee. So you can imagine if I was a shanker, then that right there, that's certainly better than scooting right angles off the bush.
Yeah. We use this a lot. If you haven't got the face spray like people do use, we use this a lot. And like you've done there, can you hit outside the grooves on the toe of the club? And they go for that, and they'll generally find the middle. And I've seen people where you might encourage them, if you set up behind the ball again for me and address it, and on a practice swing, can you miss it and take a divot on the inside? And that's a good player, easy for you to do. I see people middle it like that or even catch the toe. So I don't stand here often. But using TrackMan or using the face spray, even a more skillful player like yourself, we can start to shift around. Can you go right a small amount out of the heel, so a centimetre to the toe, and then find the middle? So that awareness really helps player deliver it more consistently to the centre of the strike.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, that golf ball only really cares, regardless of how you're doing it, how this golf club is coming into play. If we can strike the centre of the club face more often through doing a drill like this, is going to make the game a hell of a lot easier.
Cool.
Thanks, mate.
Middle.